Think back to January 26, 2020. Can you still feel that sudden icy chill, that collective breathless gasp when the news notification first flashed across your phone screen, vibrating with a reality we were not ready to face? It was one of those rare haunting moments where the entire world seemed to pause simultaneously, caught in a state of absolute paralyzing disbelief. We aren't just talking about a basketball legend passing away. We're talking about a global icon, his bright-eyed daughter Gianna, and 7 other beautiful souls being taken in the blink of an eye. How many of you sat there in total silence, frantically refreshing your social media feeds, desperately hoping it was all just some sick, twisted internet hoax? But the reality was far colder and much more final than any of us wanted to admit. A helicopter, a morning of heavy fog, and a rugged, unforgiving hillside in Calabasas changed the course of sports history and human connection forever. This wasn't just a headline for diehard sports fans. It was a tragedy that shattered hearts across every single continent, from the playgrounds of Philly to the massive arenas of Beijing. You see, Kobe Bryant wasn't just a Laker. He was a superhero to millions, the ultimate girl dad, and a creative visionary. And suddenly, in a flash of metal and fire, the Black Mamba was gone. The immediate aftermath was a blur of crushing grief and total confusion for everyone involved. One moment, the Bryant family was enjoying a typical quiet Sunday morning, and the next, they were the epicenter of a worldwide mourning period. It was jarring, wasn't it? The transition from private bliss to public tragedy was instantaneous. Thousands of people began gathering outside the Staples Center, weeping over makeshift altars of flowers and jerseys, while murals of Kobe and Gigi started appearing on every street corner in Los Angeles. But amidst this hurricane of public sorrow, one woman had to find the strength to stand tall when she likely wanted to just crumble. We all remember Vanessa Bryant at that public memorial at the house that Kobe built. Dressed in solemn black, her voice steady yet vibrating with a pain most of us can't even begin to fathom, she stepped into a role she never asked for but was born to lead. She became the Queen Mamba, the fierce protector of a legacy that was now resting entirely on her shoulders. She didn't just show up, she commanded that stage, honoring her husband and her Mamba cheetah with a grace that left the world in total awe. It was our first real sign that the Bryant family wasn't going to disappear into the shadows of their own grief. But let's talk about the missing pieces of this puzzle for a second, the ones who were far too young to understand the magnitude of what they lost. While the world mourned a superstar, a mother was looking into the eyes of daughters who had just lost their hero. Natalia, the eldest, was a teenager forced to grow up in the blink of an eye, becoming her mother's rock. But then there were the babies, Bianca and Capri. Can you even wrap your head around that? They were just toddlers when the crash happened. They are growing up in a world where their father is a literal legend, a man whose face is plastered on buildings and whose name is shouted by massive crowds. Yet they will only ever truly know him through home videos, old stories, and the flickering memories of their older sister. It's a heartbreakingly bittersweet reality, right? Imagine growing up in the shadow of a giant without ever getting to truly know his laugh or feel his hand in yours as you grow. Now, you might think the story ends with a family retreating to heal in private, but that's simply not the Bryant way. We've watched this family transform from a private unit into a public legacy powerhouse that influences culture and business. We aren't just talking about a grieving widow anymore. We're talking about a multi-million-dollar empire and a brand that refuses to fade into history. The Mamba mentality isn't just a slogan, it's a business model, a lifestyle, and a mission for survival. But what really happened behind those closed doors once the cameras stopped flashing and the world moved on to the next headline? Is that famous Mamba mentality still the glue holding them together, or is the family quietly struggling to maintain that perfect public image while the weight of the world sits on their door? Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. You won't believe the legal firestorms Vanessa had to fight just to protect her family's privacy against those who were supposed to protect them. We're diving into the intense courtroom drama next. Natalia Bryant has blossomed into a literal powerhouse, and it's honestly inspiring to watch. Can you imagine the pressure of being the eldest daughter of a global icon while trying to navigate your own path in the shadow of such a giant legacy? She didn't just hide away from the world, she stepped into the spotlight with an elegance that left everyone speechless. When she signed with IMG Models, the same agency that handles superstars like Gigi Hadid, the internet went into a total frenzy. Now, we've all heard the Nepo baby chatter. People love to talk, right? But if you look at her work ethic, it's clear she has that Mamba DNA running through her veins. Whether she's balancing her intense studies at USC or walking high-fashion red carpets, Natalya carries herself with a poise that reminds us so much of her father's legendary focus. She isn't just the new face of the Bryant legacy, she's redefining what it means to be a Bryant in a modern, stylish world. But while Natalya was rising, a massive legal storm was brewing behind the scenes that most of us couldn't even fathom. Imagine the absolute betrayal Vanessa must have felt when news broke that deputies from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department were sharing graphic, unauthorized photos of the crash site. We're talking about photos being passed around at bars and gala events like they were some kind of morbid trophy. Can you believe the audacity? It wasn't just a breach of privacy, it was a total violation of human dignity. Vanessa didn't just sit back and take it though. She went to war. She took them to court in a high-stakes legal battle that gripped the nation. She wanted accountability, not just for her own family, but for everyone who has ever suffered at the hands of institutional negligence. And when the verdict finally came down, it was a massive victory. A jury awarded her $16 million in damages. But here is the real boss move that proves Vanessa is playing a different game entirely. She didn't keep a single cent of that settlement for herself. Instead, she announced she was donating the entire amount to the Mamba and Mambachita Sports Foundation. Talk about turning unimaginable pain into a lasting purpose. She sent a clear message to the world. You cannot buy the Bryants. And you certainly cannot disrespect their memory without facing the consequences. But the drama didn't stop in the courtroom. Have you noticed how the world of sports apparel almost lost its most iconic partnership? For a while there, the relationship between the Bryant estate and Nike was on absolute thin ice. The contract actually expired, and rumors were swirling that Vanessa was unhappy with how the brand was handling Kobe's legacy. Things got even more heated when a Mambachita shoe designed to honor Gigi was leaked to the public without Vanessa's permission. She was beyond furious, and honestly, can you blame her? It felt like the brand was prioritizing profit over respect. After some intense negotiations, a new deal was struck that put the family's vision front and center. Now, the partnership is stronger than ever, ensuring that Kobe's sneakers stay on the feet of athletes who live by his philosophy. While these million-dollar deals were being signed, the atmosphere inside the Bryant home remained focused on one thing: joy for the younger girls. Bianca and Capri are growing up in a world filled with celebration thanks to Vanessa's incredible dedication. Have you seen the birthday parties? We're talking Kobe-level extravagance, elaborate themes, and a sense of magic that keeps the spirit of their father and sister alive in the most positive way possible. Vanessa is making sure they don't just grow up with a sense of loss, but with a sense of wonder. However, it hasn't all been sunshine. There's a certain friction that no one really likes to talk about, but it's hard to ignore. The relationship with Kobe's parents. Joe and Pamela Bryant has been strained for years, often surfacing in public through auctions of Kobe's old memorabilia. It's a messy, heartbreaking situation that reminds us that even the most famous families struggle with internal ghosts. Why was there so much tension over a 2000 championship ring being sold? It's the kind of family drama that cuts deep, leaving fans wondering if a reconciliation is even possible. But wait. As the family continues to build this empire, the public's curiosity has shifted towards something even more personal. For years, the world has watched Vanessa lead with strength, but whispers are starting to grow louder. What about her personal life? People are obsessed with the idea of her finding happiness again. Is she finally ready to move on? Or is the Queen Mamba strictly focused on the kids? The rumors are swirling. And you won't believe who she's been spotted with lately. Whenever a camera catches Vanessa Bryant smiling next to a male friend, the internet basically explodes with theories. It's wild, isn't it? Every time she is seen sitting courtside with the Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka, or sharing a sweet supportive moment with Pau Gasol, the rumor mill goes into total overdrive. People are constantly asking the same questions. Is she finally looking for love again? Has she found someone who can finally fill that void? But if you look closer, it's obvious that these men aren't just random friends or potential suitors. They are the guardians of Kobe's legacy and the honorary uncles to his daughters. Take Pau Gasol, for example. The bond between him and the Bryants is honestly enough to make anyone emotional. Since that tragic day in 2020, Pau hasn't just been a former teammate, he has been a constant, steady presence in their lives, showing up when it matters most. Whether he's taking the girls to Disneyland, celebrating their birthdays, or standing by Vanessa's side during major awards, he's shown the world what true, selfless loyalty looks like. He even named his own daughter Elizabeth Gianna to honor Gigi. That's the kind of support system every family needs when their world has been turned upside down, and the fans absolutely love seeing Uncle Pau step up to protect the family. Of course, being in the public eye means every single move is scrutinized by millions on X and Instagram. While most fans are incredibly protective of Queen Mamba and her daughters, there is always that gossip edge whenever Natalya posts a new stunning photo shoot. People love to weigh in on whether she looks more like Kobe or Vanessa, and some even wonder if her high fashion modeling career is a distraction from her intense studies at USC. It's a lot for a young woman to handle, but the Bryants have mastered the art of ignoring the noise and focusing on their inner circle. They know that the public will always have an opinion, but they remain focused on their own happiness and personal growth. Speaking of the public eye, we have to talk about those massive statue unveilings outside the Crypto.com arena. Talk about a legendary moment for the city of Los Angeles. Seeing Kobe immortalized in bronze was a dream come true for fans who bled purple and gold, but did you catch the drama surrounding the first statue? Fans were absolutely heated when they noticed typos in the box score etched into the base. It was a bit of a mess, right? But in true Bryant fashion, the family stayed poised while the arena staff scrambled to fix the errors. These statues represent 3 different stages of Kobe's life, and for Vanessa, these moments are about making sure her daughters see exactly how much their father changed the game forever. But let's talk business for a second, because Vanessa has proven she is an absolute powerhouse in the boardroom. Between the massive $400 million payout from the sale of body armor to Coca-Cola and the revamped powerhouse deal with Nike, the Bryant estate is worth more now than ever before. Vanessa isn't just managing a memory, she's building a multi-generational business empire. She has become one of the most powerful women in the sports industry, calling the shots and ensuring that the Mambachita brand supports young female athletes through the foundation. It's the ultimate tribute to Gigi's passion and a way to keep her spirit alive on every basketball court in the world. And what about the future of the littlest Bryants? Everyone is wondering if Bianca or Capri will eventually pick up a basketball and follow in Gianna's footsteps. The pressure of that Mambachita legacy has to be real, right? Can you imagine the expectations on their shoulders? But Vanessa seems determined to let them find their own paths, whether that's on the court or pursuing something entirely different. Whatever they choose, you can bet they'll have the full force of the Mamba mentality behind them. Kobe's family didn't just survive the unthinkable. They are thriving in a way that would make the Black Mamba himself incredibly proud. They've faced lawsuits, public gossip, and the weight of global mourning, and they've come out stronger. They are a tight-knit unit that refuses to be broken by grief. So what do you think is the most inspiring part of their journey? Is it the massive business moves Vanessa is making, or the way they've stayed so close as a family? Let us know in the comments, because this legacy is far from over.